this is important to me because I think in particular, um, people have this. I feel like people have this sense that there's an objective reality, and if we all just get the facts right, people just don't have the right facts. If they had the right facts,
Yeah,
then we can find what is true.
yeah,
And I think you kind of you talk a lot about in your book how like facts. That's not we're not arguing about facts.
yeah. I don't think that we can argue about facts in that kind of way. Um, a fact is really something that is not open to dispute. You know, your life was never made better by meditating on the fact that 2 plus 2 equals 4. It doesn't touch you, it doesn't speak to you, it doesn't inspire you. Um, so I think that, yes, especially when a lot of people do want to enter into spiritual conversation, they think that talking about the dogma uh, of their tradition, which is a kind of fact, like it is a fact that Catholics believe X, Y, and Z, and that Jews believe A, B, and C. Those are kinds of facts. But talking about those facts is just as fruitless as talking about any other fact. Um, where the spirit moves subjectively. So, for example, there's this story that Itzhak Perlman. Do you know who he is? I'll say who he is in case there's someone watching the podcast who doesn't know. He's a great violinist with polio. So he's known as being a disabled violinist. And one night he's giving a concert. I think it's at the Met, and he walks out to the center of the stage, um, because when you're a violinist at that level, you can have the center of the stage all by yourself. And he walks out there and he sits down and he pulls out his violin to get it ready for the concert, and um, a string breaks. It's the unmistakable sound of a string breaking. And everybody has just seen this guy labor to get out here. Took him 10 minutes to get in position. And now a string breaks. What's going to happen? And the audience gasps. And courageously, he motions his bow to the orchestra conductor, telling him, no, 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 you guys go ahead. I'm going to improvise. And using the strings that he has left, he creates all of the notes that he would have needed to make if he had all 4 strings going. And then after his performance, without missing a note, he says, sometimes it is the job of the artist to see what you can do with what you have left. That's the story. And I've shared with you something that touches me. I haven't told you what I had for breakfast. I haven't told you where I live, but I've shared with you a piece of wisdom. I think what's really funny is if you go over to Snopes.com, I think Snopes.com will say that this is not even true. This is a made up little piece of inspirational whatever. But it's not actually true. This never happened. I think that's what Snopes says. But we've talked about an idea that governs my life. It's even fictional. It's not even real, but it touches on something that I want to live by, something that you want to live by. and it becomes a parable unto itself.
Yeah, yeah. I like how you told that and brought in that it's a fiction at the end. And um, I've been reading I've been reading James Hillman. I'm not sure if you're familiar with James Hillman, but he talks about he's like a Jungian psychologist, and he was really big on the imagination, and he talks about this notion of that we've lost touch with the imagination, and we take everything literally. And it seems like there's so much important in this imagination, and it's really unclear, like what is real is also unclear, because it's like you can tell it this is not quote unquote objectively real, or it doesn't necessarily, like the story you told doesn't necessarily have to be a fact, but it's a real experience that people have. It has the ability to move people and direct people and guide
Yeah,
people, even
yeah,
though it's not concrete or it's an objective fact.
yeah, yeah. You know, one could argue that the Marvel movies have moved more and achieved more than ever thought possible. If you talk about in terms of the sheer amount of dollars produced, and you know, we refer to this scene or that scene, it's become our conceptual matrix. We think of things and we reference this movie or that movie, but they're not real. So, what is that? It's subjective. These movies touch at something that's subjective, and we want that and we need that. To some degree, we've learned how to monetize that. Um, so I'm just trying to illustrate that yes, there are facts. I don't live with my head in the clouds. The facts themselves are very uninspiring. They just are. Um, and many of them might even be beyond my comprehension. Um, or perhaps even um, a function of consciousness itself. I'm sorry. My phone is doing something. I'm having a wheelchair problem, and someone is calling me to try to help me with my wheelchair problem, which is another fact that is not inspiring, comes crashing in.